Have you ever wondered what cruise extras are worth the splurge? Well, today I'm going to be sharing that with you. Hey, it's KJ. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you cruise extras that I think are worth the splurge. So without further ado, let's get into it. First on my list is a veranda. So on a Disney cruise, they call the balcony a veranda. So if you're going on another cruise line, they may just call it a balcony, but on Disney Cruise Line, they call it a veranda. So that is the first thing that I absolutely think is worth the splurge. Now, I personally don't like the veranda. Now you might be like, KJ, why are you recommending splurging on a veranda if you don't like it? Well, I may not like it because I have a bit of a fear of heights. However, it is nice to have a veranda to have the view for one. So even if you never step foot out on the veranda, you have floor to ceiling windows of the outside, which is so nice. It's such a beautiful view. Again, I personally don't like really going out there because I do have a bit of a fear of heights. So, however, my husband absolutely loves it, which I think is probably what the majority of people will like. I definitely think I'm in the minority of people who don't like going out on the veranda if you do have one. But my husband likes to go out on the veranda every morning or every afternoon, really just any opportunity he gets if we're in the room, which we do have 3 little ones. So we are in the room from time to time for nap time, or just we go to bed early because the kids go to bed early or what have you. So John does spend quite a bit of time out on the veranda. I will sit right inside the door and enjoy the view. But again, I don't really like stepping foot out on the veranda. But if you do have little ones and they are going to bed and one of you wants to sit out on the veranda and just enjoy the view, it's really great. You can get some fresh air. You can watch the world go by. It's really, really nice. And if you are taking your kids and you do put them to bed and you want to sit out on the veranda, I would recommend bringing a baby monitor just so you can keep an eye on them. This way, if they wake up, you can hear them. So that would be my little tip. Now, we didn't do that just because I stayed in the room again. Like I said, I don't like going out on the veranda because of my fear of heights, but it does make the room feel bigger. That's another plus to it and why I think it's worth the splurge. You definitely don't get that like cabin fever that you might if you were in an ocean view room or an inside room. Like the room definitely feels bigger because of those big windows. So I personally enjoy it for that reason. But if you're someone like my husband who just enjoys the fresh air, the privacy, the views, then it definitely is worth the splurge. Next on my list is specialty dining. Now, depending on what cruise line you are going on, there will be different restaurants, or even if you're going on a Disney cruise, they do have different restaurants. The most popular one is Palo. Palo is on all of the Disney ships at the time of filming, and Palo is one of their high-end restaurants that you do have to make reservations for, and it is at an extra cost. The specialty dining is definitely worth the splurge. It is a bit of a more high-end experience. A lot of times they do have dress codes for this. Now on the Disney Cruise Line, it's not going to be super formal. I believe you have to have a collared shirt, business casual at minimum. It's not like a formal night on other cruise lines, but there is a dress code. The other reason you might want to splurge on this, maybe there's a particular menu that you want to skip on. So for Disney Cruise Line, they have rotational dining. So maybe you're going on a longer cruise and you're eating at Animator's Palette one night and you're supposed to eat at Animator's Palette again. You're like, you know what, let's skip Animator's Palette for the second time and let's go to Palo. Absolutely worth the splurge. The food is incredible and definitely worth the extra money. Next on my list is the Rainforest Room Day Pass on Disney Cruise Line. Now, if you're going on a different cruise line, then you might want to look into see what they have that would be equivalent to that. You can come and go as you please for that day. You also get access to the spa, so you can check out their locker room, you can check out the sauna, you get great views, and did I mention it is adult only? So again, if you are someone that wants to get a little break from your kids, you can put them in the kids club or have family members watch them. But if you just need that break, this is a great opportunity to get that break from your kids. The other great thing about the day pass for the Rainforest Room is you're getting that spa experience without the high sticker price. So if you wanted to get a massage, or you wanted to get a couples massage or a manicure or pedicure, or just some kind of spa treatment, it's definitely going to come at a higher price than the Rainforest Room. So if you would like to experience the spa, but again, not at that high sticker price, definitely check out the Rainforest Room Day Pass on Disney Cruise Line. And like I said, if you're going on a different cruise line, you can look into what they have that would be equivalent to that. The next thing that I think is absolutely worth the splurge, and this is probably my biggest tip of all of them, getting a hotel the night before your cruise. If you do have to fly in for the cruise, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a hotel for the night before. Rather than try to save the money on a hotel room, fly in the night before, because you do run the risk of something happening to your flight. That has happened to us. We were in Walt Disney World a couple of years ago now. I think it was 2 years ago now. And our flight was canceled and we were stuck 2 extra days in Florida. And luckily we were just going home and it didn't really impact us. I think we were flying home on a Saturday and we had to fly home on a Monday instead. So, we didn't have to miss work. However, if we were flying from, say, our home to Florida and our flight was canceled or delayed for a couple of days, well, then we would have missed our cruise if we were going on a cruise, or we would have lost out on a couple of days of our vacation. So at minimum, fly in the night before for your cruise, because what would be worse than your flight being canceled and you miss out on your cruise altogether? Then you'd be wasting a lot more money than just spending the money and splurging on one night of a hotel versus, again, losing the entire price of your cruise. The next item on my list that I think is 100% worth the splurge are excursions. Now, you don't have to do an excursion on every single port of call, but if you are going on a cruise and there's something you really want to do, let's say you really want to swim with dolphins, let's just say that that was something you've always wanted to do, it's definitely worth the splurge. When we were in Hawaii for our honeymoon, now this wasn't a cruise, we just happened to be in Hawaii, we did a dolphin encounter and we did a sea lion encounter, and I have to tell you, if that was an excursion on one of our cruise itineraries, we would have 100% have done it. It was just such a fun experience. So if there's something that you really want to do, again, you don't have to do an excursion in every port of call, but if there's something you really want to do and it's just something that you've always wanted to do, then do it. It's 100% worth the splurge. You know, you get that memory that you can hold on to forever. And again, you don't have to do it at every port of call. Pick the one thing that you really want to do and just do it. The next thing that I think is worth the splurge is booking a cruise not during hurricane season. I know typically cruises during hurricane season tend to be less expensive. However, it really could impact your cruise. You might get a lot of rain. You might not be able to stop at different ports of call. If you're going on a Disney cruise and it stops at Castaway Cay, you do run the risk of not being able to stop at Castaway Cay. So while you might be saving money, sort of in the long run, you're like losing money, because maybe you decide, well, we didn't get to do this and that on our last cruise, so, you know, we're going to book another cruise, or you just miss out. And that's just such a bummer to spend all that money and then not get to do the things that you were really looking forward to. Again, I come back to, let's say you were going on a Disney cruise and you really wanted to go to Castaway Cay and you didn't get to go because of, you know, the rain, the storms. That's a real bummer. Or if you're going on a cruise and it's raining the whole time because of hurricane season, you don't get to enjoy the pools. Now, I get it. There's still a lot of things that you can do indoors on a cruise ship, but you know, part of being on a cruise ship is getting to enjoy the views, getting to be outside, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the pool deck. So spend the extra money, go on a cruise that's not during hurricane season, because at least then you are more likely to enjoy the entire experience instead of being stuck in your room or stuck inside the whole time. The next thing on my list that I 1000% think is worth the splurge is travel insurance. Disney Cruise Line, for example, is non-refundable. So if you don't get that travel insurance, and let's say you get a promotion at work and you're no longer able to go, let's say somebody gets sick, or let's say, you know, the worst case scenario happens and, you know, there's an emergency in the family and you can no longer go, you're going to lose out on all that money versus if you had just spent the money on the travel insurance. Personally, I'd rather spend the money on the travel insurance and never need to use it versus not getting it and wishing that I had gotten it. Another thing to consider is that just because you're going on vacation does not mean that you are immune to illness or injury. If you get the travel insurance and you have a medical emergency, your medical bills will be far cheaper than if you didn't get the insurance. So guys, do yourselves a favor. Just splurge on the insurance. You will thank yourself later if the worst case scenario happens and you need it. You'll be so happy that you have it. Or you just have the philosophy that I have, that I'd rather have it and not need it and not use it than not have it and wish that I got it. So if there's one thing that you take away from this list that is worth the splurge, get the travel insurance. I promise you it will be worth the splurge if in the event you do need it. So that is my list of cruise extras that I think are worth the splurge. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that any of these things are worth the splurge? Do you think none of them are worth the splurge? Do you have other cruise extras that I didn't have on this list that you think should be on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you made it to the end of this video, give me a little fist bump, because I always like to know who makes it to the end of the video. I always like to see who sticks around. And with that, if you guys liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps support the channel. If you're new and you like the content, I would love to have you subscribe down below. And with that, I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.